Marcus Tullius Cicero in Marcum Antonium, Episode 1. Antequam de Republica, patres conscripti, dicam ea quae decenda hoc tempora arbitror, exponam vobis breviter concilium et profectionis et reversionis meae. Ego cum sperardrem aliquando ad vestrum concilium auctoritatemque republicam esse revocatam, manendum mihi statuebam, quasi in vigilia quadam consulari ac senatoria. This is the first of Cicero's long set of speeches against Marc Antony, oratio prima in Marcum Antonium. These came to be known as the Philippics, because in them Cicero deliberately imitated the speeches of Demosthenes against Philip II, Alexander the Great's father. They are similar in tone and structure, and they aimed at a similar objective, namely to keep Marc Antony out of political power and to disgrace him in the eyes of others. Antequam de Republica, before, concerning the Republic, patres conscripti, senatorial fathers. This is masculine, plural, and vocative, and he addresses them as those who are conscripti, enrolled, that is, having their names written on the rolls of the Senate, senatorial fathers. Antequam begins a subordinate clause, of which dicam is the verb. Before, about the Republic, senatorial fathers, I say those things, ea, which must be said, hoc tempora arbitror, at this time, I think, arbitror. Now the main verb here, then, of the relative clause is arbitror. So dicam here I'm taking as a future indicative. Before, I shall say, ea, that's the object, those things. And what kind of things are they? They are things, quae decenda hoc tempora arbitror, which I judge must be said, decenda, and with this we should imagine esse. Decenda esse then is a passive periphrastic, that is a gerundive, and a form of sum, indicating necessity, and it is indirect statement or oratio obliqua, and thus decenda is neuter, plural, and accusative. Before I say those things which I judge must be said, hoc tempora, at this time, exponam vobis, I shall explain to you, exponam, first singular, future indicative active. I shall set out or explain to you briefly, concilium, the reason or the plan behind, et, both my departure, my setting out, my leaving of the city, and my return. And both of these are feminine singular genitive, and meae modifies both of them. Notice how Cicero places the adjective last, and it is distributed to both of these nouns that are third declension, and both of them are abstractions. I, ego, and now we have a subordinate clause, when I was hoping that at some point ad vestrum concilium auctoritatem, at some point to your wisdom and your authority, the Republic, the Commonwealth, had been recalled, esse revocatam. So the sperarem is the imperfect subjunctive in the cum clause, and it introduces its own oratio obliqua, indirect statement, of which the subject is rem publicam, and the predicate is revocatam. So I, when I was still hoping that somehow the Republic had been brought back to your wisdom and to your influence, under your influence and sway, we might say, manendum mihi statuebam, manendum est, esse, another gerundive in indirect statement. I was determining that I should have to stay. Mihi here is the dative, which is regularly used with gerundives to show agency. I was thinking that I had to stay, as though on a certain watch, vigilia quadam, this is ablative, as is quadam, a certain kind of a watch, or watch-keeping, that was consular, that is what was done by a consul, a man of consular rank, and by someone of senatorial rank as well.